Why British TV confuses Americans? I already know that American TV is a bit different to German TV. We got American TV channels that are translated to German with cheap dubbing, but I still want to find out how different is American TV to British TV. So let's go.
Hi and welcome back to the Girl Gone London channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylin. I'm a dual UK and US citizen, and in this video, I'm talking about 5 television differences I didn't expect when moving to the UK from America. The first difference on my list has to do with what is considered prime time, or when a lot of the most popular shows are on TV. When I first moved to the UK, I was really surprised that many really popular shows, like Strictly Come Dancing, were on a Saturday night. That seemed to be like the prime time when people would gather around the TV and watch, which I guess makes sense in some ways because it's the weekend. But in America, our prime time slots are never weekend nights.
Why?
Typically, if there's going to be a show that everybody back in the day of like regular television, I guess, because a lot of us do streaming now, but back in the day when there was a really popular show that everybody wanted to watch and everybody gathered around or invited your friends over to watch, typically these were going to be on a weekday night. So not a Friday night, not a Saturday night, and not a Sunday night. For example, I remember from my childhood that the American version of The Office, which was very popular when airing, was always on a Tuesday night, if I can remember correctly, and Lost, another very popular show, was on.
But on a workday, you come home later, you're tired, and you need to go sleep early, so you don't really have time to watch the TV, if I'm right. Weekday makes more sense, because you were out with friends, with family, you come back at home at evening or night, and you got the time to watch TV. Especially you can sleep in, so you can stay up at night and watch all the TV you want. So workday doesn't make too much sense.
Thursday night. Appointment viewing in the UK just tends to not follow that same standard. Like I said, Strictly is a super popular show and it's on a Saturday night. Now, the other thing I've noticed, especially when I first moved to the UK as an American, was that the shows that would be in these prime time, like even dinner slots on a weekday night, would be things like Escape to the Country or some sort of like house building show in the UK. And these are what would be on the most popular channels. So you're talking about like BBC or ITV or Channel 4. And I was always so amused by this because I was like, to get a slot like this, to get a really popular slot, so not like a 12 p.m. noon, but a dinner time one or again, a prime time one, if you were in America, it would have to be some sort of like crime drama or like really high stakes, just like really, really intense, in your face, like edited like a mile a minute, you can't look away. Whereas I would turn on the TV around dinner time in the UK and it would be like a sheep in a field. And
yeah, in Germany it comes down to what channel you are. There are channels which are about home building, there are channels that are about trash TV. For example, RTL, they are mostly about trashy people who got bad personality, so the viewer can hate them, or maybe about a bit of not that smart people, so the viewer can make fun of them and feel better themselves. That kind of TV. But we also got channels where you can watch people cook. So it comes down to channels.
Someone walking very like quietly through the countryside and you hear birds tweeting, and it was just such a different culture. And this leads into my third difference, which is that TV shows in general in the UK tended to have a lot less emphasis on fake drama or flashy sound effects. When you watch a Gordon Ramsay Kitchen Nightmares in the UK, it is so different than the Kitchen Nightmares in the US. The Kitchen Nightmares in the US, they're gonna have like fake ambulance sounds, fake sirens. They're going to have probably like fake sounds of pots and pans clashing, just intense, like in your face, loud, all of.
I noticed the same thing here in Germany. Like I said, we got American TV channels that are translated to German, and I noticed that they are mostly over dramatic and a little bit too perfect. So the people there are perfect, modern, and there's a lot of drama. In Germany, it's quite the opposite. We got drama, but not as much, and German people like to watch trashy people. They want to feel better themselves.
the time kind of editing. And then you watch the UK version and suddenly Gordon seems a lot more chill, and they don't add in all of the fake sound effects or make you feel like you have to keep watching because you need to know where the ambulance siren came from. Turns out it never shows up again. It was just like a marketing and editing trick to get you to keep watching. And yes, Americans do sometimes enjoy calmer shows like The Great British Bake Off, has been popular on streaming services in the US, and we do like a bit of Antiques Roadshow, but these are kind of on the side channels. When you're watching the big channels, the big network TV, it's just so much more in your face, so much louder. You've got laugh tracks piped in a lot of the times, especially for 90s sitcoms, and the shows are just, they just stress you out a lot more on purpose. That is
Yeah, but in Germany, on very big TV channels, we got very calm shows, very calm. For example, there's a show, I have only watched the clips of it, but you have people that need to cut a fruit so that the two halves have the same weight. And the person who is closer to the equal halves wins. And that's it. There's no crazy music, there's no special effects. People just watching other people slice a fruit or slice a cake. Yeah, we got also that, but those over-dramatic stuff, nah, not in German TV shows.
Is what keeps an American viewer watching, is this fake sound effects, the editing that's, again, really choppy and really just like makes you want to watch because you feel like you're watching a car crash. Turn on the TV in the UK and suddenly your blood pressure can go down like a lot of levels. You can relax, you can learn something, you can watch lots more educational
Sounds like
programs,
Germany.
and just there's not the fake and manufactured drama. And every time I turn on one of those shows in the UK, I'm like, this show would never succeed in America because we would not have the attention span to keep watching. Now, the next TV difference that surprised me when I first moved to the UK was the difference in talk shows. So British talk shows are more roundtable style events. So you're going to have actually sometimes quite a few celebrities or people of interest who join the show, and it's more of a conversation between the host and the celebrities and each other. So often you get some really funny sound clips and sound bites that you see on like YouTube shorts or whatever it is of celebrities interacting with each other on this talk show. In the classic American style of talk show, it's typically going to be the one host and the one guest who has been invited, and yes, they're telling stories and they're bantering between each other, and the American guest is going to have something to promote, but it's not as often that you're going to have multiple people in this more relaxed style of interviewing. Sometimes you will have another celebrity come out and sit next to the person they might not have met, and occasionally the other person might chime in with a question or briefly get involved in the conversation, but it's not really meant to be a roundtable style of discussion. It is really meant to be a host, a person, an interview, and a standard format versus the more casual and relaxed format of British style talk.
I don't think that Germany has a lot of talk shows anymore. I remember one from Jan Böhmermann, but it's not really a talk show. The talk shows that we got is mostly about politicians in a circle. You got one host and he gives them the questions and they need to answer him. And maybe we got politicians from completely different fields and they start arguing with each other. But real talk shows, I don't think so.
Shows. And the last difference on my list that surprised me, and this had to do when people were recommending British TV shows to me, because I would look it up and I would say, but this only has 4 episodes, or this only has 8 episodes, where are the rest? And what I learned is that British style television typically has always tended towards shorter runs. So you are typically going to have maybe 8 or 12 episodes in a season. Sometimes an entire series is just 12 episodes. And that's it. You get 12 and it's done. It doesn't go on for 4 seasons, 5 seasons, 6 seasons at 22 plus episodes per season. Whereas in America, that is more of the style, and it's changed a bit as streaming has gotten popular, and that's changed things. But back in the days of like primetime network television, if you're talking about big American TV shows like ER, Grey's Anatomy, Lost, The Office, the list goes on, you're going to have multiple, like 5, 6, 7+ seasons, and these seasons are typically going to have maybe 20 to 24 episodes. When they don't have that many episodes, we all look it up to see if there was some sort of like writer's strike or some reason why they didn't do all of those episodes, because that is kind of a standard American TV show episode runtime. And again, if you're a younger viewer and you're more used to shows that come on streaming platforms, those do tend to have fewer episodes than back in the day. So maybe part of this is just in my childhood, American TV shows had tons and tons and tons of episodes. But it definitely, when I first moved to the UK about 14 years ago, was a big difference for me. Now that brings me to the end of this video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Okay, so that was how the American TV is different to the British TV. And I need to say that British and German TV is kind of similar. We got a similar feeling, I think. It's more calm, but like she said, you got real TV serials. We got a few crime series for older people, but nothing on the level of Britain and nothing on the level of America. So I think in this case, the British are a bit better than Germans. If you got any other videos to recommend, write it in the comment section, and I will see you later, alligator. Auf Wiedersehen, bye bye bye.